John Walker Lynn. In court today, he's officially accused of conspiring to kill fellow Americans. Outside, his father says no. He says his son loves America. Frightened children, anguished parents, as a school bus driver takes a day-long detour. The Enron company debacle. A congressman calls it a bank robbery. This man is fingered as driver of the getaway car. Plus, Eye on America, the smuggling investigation. Tonight, the big business in exotic animals.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. The man known as the American Taliban made his first court appearance today and heard the serious charges against him, including conspiracy to kill U.S. citizens in Afghanistan. And with that hearing in a Virginia federal court began what is shaping up as a huge legal and public opinion battle for the U.S. government, for John Walker, or John Walker Lynn, as he now prefers to be called, and for armies of high-powered attorneys. CBS's coverage begins with correspondent Jim Stewart.
John Walker Lynn looked every bit like a 20-year-old in trouble today, and he acted it. He spoke softly 3 times. Do you understand the charges against you? Yes, sir, I do. Thank you. Do you know you could do life in prison? The judge asked. Yes, I do, sir. Have any questions? No, sir, I don't. It has been an extraordinary journey for the so-called American Taliban. Walker Lynn had arrived back on U.S. soil less than 15 hours earlier aboard an Air Force tanker. He was then flown by helicopter to an Alexandria, Virginia jail and hobbled the last few steps to his cell, still in the shackles he flew home in. His parents saw him just before he went to court.
It's been 2 years since I last saw my son. It was wonderful to see him this morning. My love for him is unconditional and absolute.
John did not take up arms against America. He never meant to harm any American, and he never did harm any American. John is innocent of these charges.
5 attorneys, all deeply experienced, have signed on to defend him and were quick to fire their opening round.
Now, for 54 days, the United States government has kept John Lynn away from a lawyer.
While the government responded that Walker Lynn was offered a lawyer but turned one down.
Mr. Walker had signed a statement waiving his right to a counsel when he spoke to the FBI.
It is that waiver and the resulting statement, however, that are likely to become the key battleground of the case. The statement was taken at Camp Rhino in Afghanistan last December by an FBI agent. In it, Walker Lynn acknowledged not only joining the Taliban and later Al-Qaeda for terrorist training, but of hearing about the September the 11th attacks in advance and meeting Osama bin Laden himself. It is the validity of that FBI statement that may become the crux of the case, since the statements Walker Lynn made to the media are less revealing. Was the statement properly taken? Was it voluntary? Was he under medication at the time? It may be John Walker Lynn's trial, but the first one in the hot seat may be the FBI. Dan?
Jim Stewart. In the weeks ahead, lawyers for the people and attorneys for the defense will be offering 2 very different pictures of John Walker Lynn, who he is and what he did. CBS News correspondent John Blackstone went to Lynn's hometown to find out more.
John Walker Lynn's parents remember the boy he was and hope America can find some compassion for the man he has become. That's likely to be a challenge.
I don't have to go through all the rigmarole of a courtroom, and I can judge by what I know that he's guilty and that he should be punished.
The conflicting views of John Walker Lynn hit particularly close to home here in Marin County, California, where he grew up. Even in this area, known for its liberalism, it's hard to find sympathy for this young man who strayed so far from home.
I certainly don't approve of what he did, but then I don't know what he did exactly.
He needs to be a man and suffer the consequences for what he's done, and those are pretty harsh consequences.
But attorney Ford Green, who has done legal battle with religious cults, says Walker Lynn may be little different than others who've been swept up by the false promises of a sect.
There's no practical difference between what have been identified as cults and what Al-Qaeda is.
Green notes that though Walker Lynn is physically okay, his greatest injuries may be psychological.
I suspect that he is tremendously confused in his own mind between his own innate sense of right and wrong and what the Taliban and Al-Qaeda indoctrinated him to believe was right and wrong.
He's a bad boy.
Screwed up, but there are a lot of screwed up people.
Walker Lynn's case seems unique, but in the end, it may be cast in familiar terms. Is he a villain or is he a victim? John Blackstone, CBS News, Marin County, California.
At the White House today, President Bush told America's mayors he will ask Congress for $38 billion to strengthen homeland security. He said $3.5 billion would go to bolstering local police, fire, and emergency medical teams who are the first to respond to disasters. While generally getting almost universally high marks for conduct of the war overseas, President Bush and his team have had some criticism for what is perceived as a not completely focused and comprehensive homeland defense. In Afghanistan today, U.S. Special Forces troops attacked a Taliban hideout, killing or capturing dozens of Taliban fighters. One American was wounded in that battle. It happened about 60 miles north of Kandahar, and as CBS News national security correspondent David Martin reports, U.S. officials expect many more such firefights in the months ahead.
Special Forces troops in Afghanistan are seldom seen, and when they are, it's never in combat. But in the early morning hours in the mountains north of Kandahar, they raided some buildings thought to harbor senior Taliban leaders and ran into a firefight. About 12 Taliban were killed and a large cache of ammunition destroyed.
Our forces attacked 2 compounds and detained 27 individuals. There were enemy forces killed in this action, and one U.S. Special Forces soldier was slightly injured. He was wounded in the ankle and has been evacuated.
It is a life-and-death game of hide-and-seek. Special Forces searching for bands of Taliban and Al-Qaeda fighters still on the loose.
They are able to move around the country in some narrow, confined areas in the mountains. They are able to hide, and we are finding them from time to time. And as we find them, we're engaging in direct action.
Rumsfeld says he expects the hunt to continue for some time. Privately, U.S. officials predict American troops will be on the ground for another 6 months.
And more U.S. troops are arriving in the Philippines, the advanced elements of a force of more than 600 American soldiers who will train and advise the Philippine military in its war against the group known as Abu Sayyaf, which is holding 2 Americans hostage and has been linked to Osama bin Laden's Al-Qaeda network. The war against terrorism started as an air war, but now it is being fought almost exclusively on the ground. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
Turning to the Middle East, the White House tells CBS News President Bush has sent 3 Arab leaders what is called evidence that Yasser Arafat's Palestinian Authority was linked to an illegal arms shipment recently intercepted by Israel, which Arafat has denied. The president asked the leaders of Egypt, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia to press Arafat to shut down militant groups in his territory. CBS News has also learned that one of those groups, the Iranian-supported Hamas, may soon have a potent new weapon. A Hamas leader told 60 Minutes the group is building missiles that could reach Israeli neighborhoods in Jerusalem from the West Bank. Tonight, in the Gaza Strip, Israeli missiles fired from helicopter gunships killed a man one source describes as a senior member of Hamas. Congress today began public hearings on the collapse of the Enron Energy Corporation and the shredding of potential evidence. The testimony featured one witness who held his tongue and others who pointed their fingers. CBS's Bob Schieffer is on Capitol Hill.
In the middle of At the crowded opening hearing, there were so many questions Congress didn't even get to Enron. It was the company's accounting firm, Arthur Andersen, in the spotlight. And first up was David Duncan, the auditor who handled the Enron account and who was fired by Andersen last week.
Mr. Duncan, Enron robbed the bank. Arthur Andersen provided the getaway car, and they say you were at the wheel.
The question why had Duncan ordered thousands of accounting documents shredded after he knew authorities were investigating Enron's tangled finances. Duncan took the fifth.
On the advice of my counsel, I respectfully declined to answer the question based on the protection afforded me under the Constitution of the United States.
His reason was soon obvious. Higher-ups in the company blamed it all on him and said they knew nothing about it.
This effort was undertaken without any consultation with others in the firm or, so far as we are aware, with legal counsel.
The committee was dubious.
Is it not the responsibility of all the folks at Arthur Andersen, every accounting firm, not to destroy documents? That might be relative to that proceeding.
When the officer said that responsibility was always delegated to the lead auditor on an individual account, it really set off Tozan.
But I'll tell you this. Every accountant firm who's listening to this had better listen very carefully. If all of your policies are to let accountants decide when it's legal to destroy documents in a pending investigation, an awful lot of people are going to be in trouble down the road, not just in this case.
One group that is listening is Congress itself. Many members are so embarrassed about taking Enron campaign contributions, the reformers say they finally signed up enough of them to force a vote on campaign reform legislation. Dan.
Bob Schieffer reporting live from Capitol Hill. The hearings concerning the politically well-connected Enron company were carried on television, and the audience included former members of the Enron family, former employees. When Enron collapsed, it crushed their retirement nest eggs. CBS's Maureen Maher has their story tonight.
Now, this ain't going to go on forever. They're just going to point fingers.
For former Enron employees Mark and Kim Laro, today's congressional hearing was just another disappointing round of unanswered questions.
It frustrates. I wish somebody would just come to the plate and I want more people to start talking.
Enron was considered a family-friendly company. Many couples who worked there together were laid off together. And now, like the Laros, have lost nearly all of their income.
Well, honey bunny, how much money do you think we got left to pay these bills?
Mike and Dixie Yeck lost everything, their jobs, their home, and more than $200,000 in life savings.
When you're trying to pay your mortgage and your benefits, and we have a new baby, so we have to have those, it's a lot.
Are you scared?
Yeah.
And with the rising unemployment rate, that fear is understandable. For these former two-income families, it will be twice as hard to get back on their feet. Alan and Belinda McGoy had a double dose of disaster last year. When they got their pink slips, they were still cleaning up from Hurricane Allison.
They can kick us, but you can't keep us down. We'll work hard. We'll get back to where we were.
Hi, baby. Are you here? The Yaks and Laros have also found a silver lining. More time to spend with their kids.
These are hard to get on.
But they've all been forced to make changes.
At Christmas time, they had a hard time, because they still believe in Santa Claus. But, just because Enron failed us, we couldn't fail the children.
Nor could they fail themselves. These couples who worked hard and played by the rules say what made Enron a success was not its policies, but its people. Maureen Maher, CBS News, Houston.
Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, children on a Pennsylvania school bus get taken on a long, frightening ride. And then later, Eye on America investigates high-profit smuggling of exotic animals.
I'm the bus lady. Some mornings I was so constipated I could hardly drive. Till I tried X-Lax Milk of Magnesia. Stimulant-free. Guaranteed relief by 8 a.m.
Good morning.
X-Lax Milk of Magnesia with the X-Lax Good Morning Guarantee.
Looking for a quiet moment? Get a quieter cookie. Soft, fruit chewy Fig Newtons. Time out from the everyday crunch.
Imagine combining the stain-fighting power of Efferdent and freshening power of Listerine. You'd get Efferdent Plus. It's extra fresh, and nothing gets your dentures cleaner. Efferdent Clean, Listerine Fresh. That's Efferdent Plus.
Let me tell you how it will be. There's one for you, 19 for me. 'Cause I'm the tax man.
It took an act of Congress to pass 441 tax law changes. Will it take an act of God to understand them? No one understands the tax law changes better than H&R Block. If you're not satisfied, you don't pay.
They all laughed at Christopher Columbus when he said the world was round. They all laugh when Edison recorded sound.
So who is Motor Trend's 2002 Sport Utility of the Year? The GMC Envoy. Those who say America can't compete, don't take test drives. We are professional grade.
Whoa, 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 who's got the last laugh now?
We're finally going to buy my grandson a big boy bed. I was on chemo then, and I was exhausted.
If you're a chemotherapy patient and feel tired, you may be anemic. Ask your doctor about Procrit to regain red blood cells. More red blood cells can mean more strength. Procrit is proven and safe. In studies, only diarrhea and edema occurred more often with Procrit than placebo. Procrit is for patients with non-myeloid cancers.
He takes a lot of energy, but I never get tired of him.
Nexium.
Nexium. Nexium. Nexium. Nexium. People are asking their doctors about it. And if you call 1-800-4-NEXIUM, you'll learn about a free trial offer.
Today's purple pill is Nexium.
Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan told Congress today the economy is improving and no additional stimulus is needed for a recovery. Greenspan's words gave Wall Street a boost. At the end of trading today, the Dow was up 65 points, the Nasdaq up 20. A congressional study of 10 industries indicates the pay gap has grown wider between men and women managers. Case in point, the communications industry. In 1995, female managers made 86 cents for every dollar made by male counterparts. 5 years later, the study finds the women managers making just 73 cents on the dollar. We can only imagine how awful it must have been for the parents in Pennsylvania. A school bus taking their children on a 6-mile trip to school never arrived. CBS's Byron Pitts has this bizarre saga, how it began and how it ended.
On a mist-filled morning in northern Pennsylvania, a mystery with terrifying possibilities. A busload of children, 13 kids, 1st to 9th graders at this Christian school in Oley Township were missing, gone. No one had seen them for hours. Suspicions were the bus driver may have been unstable and probably, almost certainly, had a gun.
The school bus left the whole Oley High School this morning about 7:30 or 7:40 to arrive at the Berks Christian School, maybe 5 or 6 miles south of here, and it never arrived.
Police searched, parents worried. Hours passed. But finally, some 5 hours later,
the bus has been found. All the children are okay.
The driver, 64-year-old Otto Nuss, pulled the bus into a parking lot in Prince George's County, Maryland, 116 miles from the school. Nuss flagged down off-duty police officer Milton Chambla and surrendered.
He seemed a little nervous, but he seemed like he wanted to turn himself over to the authorities. He wanted to make sure that the kids were okay.
He had these children, and he intended to take them to Washington, D.C., to see Washington, D.C.
Authorities recovered a loaded rifle behind the bus driver's seat, hidden beneath Nuss's coat. For worried parents, prayers were answered. An emotional reunion just a bus ride away. For the kids, a bizarre school day field trip was over.
It was a tough time, but God took care of us.
Tonight, the bus driver faces federal kidnapping charges for taking the students across state lines. As for the children, they're headed home with their parents. Byron Pitts, CBS News, Exeter Township, Pennsylvania.
At least 70 American Airlines pilots want the airline to ground its entire fleet of European-built A300 Airbuses. The airline insists these planes are safe, but the pilots say there is a risk until investigators determine why American Flight 587 crashed in New York City last November, killing 265 people. Investigators have focused on a possible failure of the plane's non-metallic tail section as a possible cause. You're watching the CBS Evening News, and up next, Eye on America investigates wildlife smuggling. For the animals, the trail often leads to death.
The CBS Evening News and tonight's Eye on America segment are sponsored by fast-acting Mylanta Supreme. Tastes great as it works.
Time to relax. What a time for bad heartburn. Try Extra Strength Mylanta. It works on tough nighttime heartburn fast. So go ahead, relax, if you can. Extra Strength Mylanta.
Hey, if we get hurt! Whoa, good thing we got that insurance.
What's that?
What?
What'd you say?
What? Pays you cash if you can't work.
Before that!
I said I'm glad we got that insurance.
Not that.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Oh, tough day.
Yeah.
What you eat?
Beef noodle soup.
Condensed soup? I used to eat that too, back when I played with dolls. You're an adult now. There's a better taste of soup. New Progresso beef and mushroom has big chunks of tender steak, portobello mushrooms, pasta, and hearty vegetables, all with just the right seasonings. See the difference?
This is better.
See? And how about that tie?
It's time to go to the better taste of Progresso.
Why do I rent from Enterprise? For more cargo room, more people room, or more headroom. Enterprise. So easy, it's like having a second car. Or third.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
If you've had a heart attack or a stroke, the last thing you need is another one sneaking up on you. After all, you've got better things to do. I know. In my case, I had a stroke. That's why I talked to my doctor about Plavix. He told me Plavix is a prescription pill that can help protect you from a heart attack or stroke if you've recently had one, or if you have poor circulation in the legs causing pain.
Plavix is proven to help keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots, which helps keep your blood flowing. This can help protect you from another heart attack or stroke. If you have a medical condition that is causing bleeding, such as a stomach ulcer, you should not use Plavix. Side effects include itching, rash, diarrhea, and bruising. Additional rare but serious side effects could occur. Ask your doctor.
Taking Plavix once a day helps protect me.
Find out if Plavix can help protect you from another heart attack or stroke.
An update now on last night's Eye on America investigation. In Tennessee, 6 former managers of the poultry industry giant Tyson Foods pleaded not guilty today to federal charges of conspiracy to smuggle illegal immigrants into the United States to serve as cheap labor in poultry plants. Also today, the government said some smuggled immigrants who are victims of such abuses may qualify for U.S. visas for humanitarian reasons. Tonight, CBS concludes a special Eye on America investigative series about smuggling. The focus this time, illegal trafficking in exotic animals. It's big business. As CBS's Jerry Bowen shows you, smugglers get rich as rare animals die.
It's the worldwide war on animal smuggling. 7,500 endangered turtles headed for Chinese dinner tables intercepted last month in Hong Kong. More than 3,000 of them died in transit.
The conditions that the turtles had been illegally smuggled in was pretty horrific. They were piled one upon the other.
Nearly extinct Madagascar tortoises and rare Komodo dragons kept off the U.S. black market, where they would have brought $30,000 each. The smuggling ringleader sentenced last summer to 6 years in jail.
How big is the problem?
The problem is very big. Wildlife smuggling is only second to drugs.
A multi-billion-dollar business where 9 out of 10 exotic animals taken don't survive, especially those worth more dead than alive, says wildlife inspector Mike Osborne.
One example of smuggling is this ivory here.
Tusks of endangered African elephants, an estimated $400,000 worth hidden in furniture shipped to Los Angeles.
How many animals died for this?
Well, this is only one box of the load, but I would say in this particular load, probably about 15 or 20 elephants died.
2 men convicted in the ivory smuggling case so far, but it doesn't stop there. Tiger skeletons to be ground up for medicine, lizards to be sold as food.
What we call gecko on a stick. These are lizards that have been gutted and decapitated, and they actually eat these.
So these were smuggled in or just brought in as a...
They weren't truly smuggled. He just didn't tell us he had them.
Sounds like a gray area.
It is.
In South America, it's exotic birds for sale, as seen by Brazilian TV hidden cameras. In the States, they bring big money. The scarlet macaw was intercepted and has a home at the Miami Zoo.
This is a bird that you can go into a rainforest and pay $20 for and come back here and sell for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. This is a baby viper boa.
It's not that U.S. Fish and Wildlife inspectors aren't looking. Even legal shipments are checked for contraband.
This is a baby blue-tongued skink.
The problem is too few inspectors, just 95 nationwide for the nearly 110,000 known shipments coming to America annually. And a border too big to patrol. Smugglers who try every trick.
We've seen fish smuggled in gas tanks of vehicles, reptiles wrapped around and taped to their bodies.
But nowhere is the problem more visible than just south of the border at the tiny Tijuana Public Zoo, a menagerie of 300 exotic animals that didn't exist only 7 years ago, when investigators needed a place to house contraband creatures. parrots to pythons. Today, squawking, slithering survivors of the smuggler's trade at a zoo that just keeps on growing. In Los Angeles, I'm Jerry Bowen for Eye on America.
Rich, delicious V8 vegetable juice has a full serving of vegetables. For when you want to eat right. Or, at the very least, drink right. V8. Drink smarter.
I have asthma. I also have 2 brothers and a dog, Max, and friends I hang out with. I don't want to miss out because of my asthma.
Singulair can help you control your child's asthma. Singulair is different from many daily inhaled controllers. It's not a steroid, and it's a once-a-day cherry chewable tablet that can help control your child's asthma for a full 24 hours. Singulair is available for children 2 years and older, and also for adults. Singulair should not be used to treat acute asthma attacks. Your child should continue taking their other asthma medicines unless their doctor tells you to stop or change the dose. If symptoms get worse, contact your child's doctor at once. Side effects are generally mild and vary by age and may include headache, flu, runny nose, and ear infection. For more information about Singulair, ask your child's doctor. And ask about adding once-a-day Singulair. Singulair, asthma control that can help you both breathe easier.
At Bank of America, we really wanted to participate in the Olympic Winter Games. But in the end, we decided to support the real athletes and stick to the things we do best. Like making it easier to pay your bills with America's most popular online bank.
Sheila. Josh, let me in. It's the middle of the night. I'll be quiet. Please. Okay.
Oh, thank you. I gotta have some of this. And our microwave's broke.
Sometimes you gotta have the Mac. Kraft Easy Mac. For the hot, cheesy taste they love, get them the Mac.
Sheila, this tastes so good.
I'm glad you like it. Need a snack?
Sibling rivalry.
Is it time to crack down on loitering in downtown Portland? Many say it's become a nuisance. Homeless advocates say it's unfair. Both sides of the story at the top of the hour.
Tonight's evening news in notes, the First Lady of the United States delayed debut on Capitol Hill. Laura Bush testified today in the Senate in support of expanding the Head Start program for needy children. She was to have testified September 11th, but when word of the attacks came, she was rushed away to safety by the Secret Service. In Assisi, Italy today, another echo of September 11th, as many faiths voiced a single prayer for peace. 200 representatives of virtually all the world's religions gathered at the invitation of Pope John Paul. Muslims, Jews, Buddhists, Hindus, Christians of many stripes, and more, all joined in the consensus that religion must never be used to justify violence. And that's part of our world tonight. Dan Rather reporting for the CBS Evening News. We'll be here again tomorrow, and we invite you to join us. Till then, good night.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the internet and on our interactive partner, America Online, at keyword CBS News.
Talented and unique, a young artist's amazing story tomorrow. Experience CBS News.